You can never guess what an audience is going to do. They may laugh at a setup that you've been taking for granted. And when they see the setup, they'll start giggling before the thing even happened. You never expect that. And research screenings help you cut time out of the movie. Every comedy I've ever done has been anywhere from 2.5 hours and the first cut. And we always bring it down to an hour 45, an hour 30 sometimes.
But it's a good way of taking like this old blanket and shaking the dust out, because there are a lot of jokes which are hurting bigger jokes. So you eliminate, you comb out, you're constantly combing out screenings. How many screenings do we have? 8, 9?
Yeah.
9. League of Their Own, I can't tell you how many times that this movie has been jumbled around, removed, things, parts. I don't think we've worked on a film that was taken apart as much as this film and put back together.
While we're screening the film, I bring in a portable tape recorder. And if there's an argument, if an actor says, there was a big laugh during that part, I zip down to it and I go, well, there isn't on the tape, dude.
Respect the fourth wall.
It's usually not good to remind an audience that they're watching a movie. In other words, when you break the fourth wall and suddenly a character is talking right into camera.
It takes so many things to make love last. Most of all, it takes respect. And I can't live with the man I don't respect.
What a pisser.
Even though we kind of remind audiences that they're watching a movie, we get away with it. If it's short enough, which relates to the previous rule. The suspension of disbelief is very important, much as it was during the Reagan administration. There's a joke. Okay.
Why is it, if a man kills another man in battle, it's called heroic? Yet if he kills a man in the heat of passion, it's called murder.
Hello! What do you think you're doing? Only me and Garth get to talk to the camera. Come on.
I think it's becoming more and more a comedy technique that's used to, you know, break the frame, as you say, or, you know, step out of the movie for a moment, or to come from the point of view of the audience.
Yes, officers, there's something wrong?
Have you seen this boy?
You know, audiences in comedy love in-jokes, and they love to be a part of this secret little way of thinking, you know. Makes them feel like they're special. So you play on those.
Well, the fat man needs to lose some weight.
Columbia Pictures presents Damon Wayans.
Hey, what's happening, bro?
Mo Money.
We are now standing in 1004 of the Beverly Hills Four Seasons Hotel. And I, the comedy king, soon to be, trying to sell my movie, Mo Money, desperately to overseas. So I'm standing here ready to be the biggest whore in the world.
Certainly have personality. This summer.
2 parts. Which one? I have.
Why settle for less?
Today I've done about 30 interviews with some really wonderful people. And I am excited because this is my last interview. The 3 questions everybody have asked me so far is, no one's asked me how big my dick is. That's good. But it's pretty big. What do you do with your money? Like, I get money and run out and buy big hats and Cadillacs. I actually did buy a Cadillac. And you just want to say, fuck you, you know. Look, go see the movie is what you want to say, but I can't, you know, because nobody go see the movie. Oh, this question is the worst one. Where did I get the idea? Where do we get ideas from? From brain. That's where I got the idea. For the most part, I look forward to getting back to my room so I can play with my balls. I have fun playing with my balls, literally. These are my balls. And it gets me ready to really play with my balls. Great dexterity. Is it hard being famous? The unfortunate thing about being a star, I hate that word, a movie star, is that I don't really meet real people anymore. People come to me and everybody's on their best behavior, you know. It's like the guy who's got like 2 teeth missing out the front of his mouth, who normally spits in your face when he talks, covers his mouth now. It's, hey, how you doing, man? It's nice to meet you, man. You know, and it's not real because they're, I don't know, somehow impressed by me, or they, I don't know, it's weird.
The thing about comedy that I think makes it a little different than other forms is the risk involved.
It's a tremendous risk to put yourself out there, because if it's not funny, everybody knows. It's not like drama where you can fool people into think, oh, this was great. This is, you know, reminiscent of the young Buñuel in his Blue period or something. But you can, in comedy, it's either, there's 2 speeds, on and off. There's no in between.
A big comedy that's a major turkey is a real turkey, because there's nothing like 2 hours or an hour and a half of a sullen audience sitting there with their eyes glazed over while the alleged laughs are going by. So I think comedians and comedy writers live in a constant state of anxiety because the risk they take comes up every few seconds in comedy. You know, if you have dead air in a mystery, it's just while you're waiting to be frightened. But if you have dead air in a comedy and nobody's laughing for 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 minutes, you're in deep, deep trouble.
So I'm talking to myself, trying to, I don't know, stay funny, think happy thoughts, because I'm ready to scream. It's like, no, I've got all this anxiety. Is it going to be funny? It better be. That's what they tell me at Columbia. It better be. Comedy is basically dealing with the unknown. Like when you go to a funeral and you see the dead guy and you start crying because for a moment you see yourself there and you realize that you could be next. And it's just dealing with that. And it's the guy who's not afraid to be human, you know?
I just wish that studios and studio executives and producers were more tuned into what audiences really want to see. I mean, the only reason Wayne's World did very well is because there were no movies of that genre that appealed to that audience out there. And it's a huge audience, you know? And unfortunately, most people in power have not taken the time to understand that mentality, you know? It's confusing for them. And so unless those powerful people actually get out on the street and try to understand real people, then I don't think we're going to have any good movies, comedies or other.
Television is now where you can do really good quality things. In films, you have to worry about the blockbusters, where it used to be the other way around. You want to do schlock and get some money, you do television. But for your art, you do the films. So it leaves a poor chap like me in a lot of trouble.
Don't get too worthy. Never grind your axe. Or scratch yourself in public.
Axe grinding is when you make you overdo a political point. I think you can get away with it when it's done in a satirical vein, as long as you pay for it with jokes. And I think that we try to do that in Naked Gun 2.5 with the environmental message.
Blowing away a fleeing suspect with my .44 Magnum used to be everything to me. I enjoyed it. Well, who wouldn't? But now, I want to be known as the Environmental Police Lieutenant. I want a world where Frank Jr. and all the Frank Jr.'s can sit under a shade tree, breathe the air, swim in the ocean, and go into a 7-Eleven without an interpreter.
When we have a picture that works, and we know it works, I really start to look forward to the real screenings, the screenings in real theaters with real audiences. And I can predict exactly where the laughs are, and I love it. And you sit there, and you're like, oh, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, crack! You know, whatever it is, some 100 people, and that's my glory. I mean, I'm happy as could be. But like tonight's screening, the industry screening, I know we don't get that crack. We'll get appreciative, should do very well. You get that? So I don't live emotionally for should do very well. I live emotionally for boom. You know, that honest sound of laughter. Lowell Ganz.
I'm Babaloo, Mandel.
And if you don't see us or hear from us again soon, please call someone, because I don't know if we'll ever come out of here, or if we'll want to. So.
If you're thinking about trying to make a comedy, I would say that, first of all, you need to use comedy writers, not some other kind of writers. And you need comedians in the roles, not just plain old actors. And you need a studio with a sense of humor. Good luck. And then you'll need to do some testing with an audience. Thank you.
There are no rules.
Last and final rule of comedy is there are no rules, which is another way of saying that you can't take the academic rules part of it too seriously, because we regularly break all of the rules.
Joey, we have something here for our special visitors. Would you like to have it?
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sure. You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Do you want me to check the weather, Clarence?
No, why don't you take care of it? Joey, do you ever hang around the gymnasium?
We better get back now, Joey.
No, Joey can stay here for a while if you'd like.
I mean, they can be broken, and I'm not saying you have to follow them, but just, I wouldn't try these at home.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
I'm Leslie Nielsen. Thank you for spending this time with us.